In a suburb outside of Atlanta, Marietta Non-Destructive Testing inspects the integrity of parts used in the aerospace, defense, and energy industries. Having equipment that can thoroughly test components for performance and quality are imperative in these industries. Traditionally, Marietta used X-ray technology, but with the development of carbon fiber and other composite materials, the company began looking at an alternative testing method. That method, an ultrasonic scanning system that measures for imperfections by shooting 2 water jets on each side of the equipment.
Well, it's a 10-axis ultrasonic testing system. With that, we have an X-axis, which is the long travel. This particular machine, we have 6 meters of travel. The Z-axis is the vertical, we have 2 meters, and then the Y-axis, independent arms, have 2 meters travel apiece. On the ends, those are gimbals. They're a gimbal, so it gimbals about the X-axis and the Y-axis. Those each have plus or minus 90 degrees. So a part is put into the system. On each side of it, there's an ultrasonic transducer. There's a water system that actually supplies water by which the ultrasonic is transmitted through. So one side transmits the ultrasonic signal. It goes through the part that would be fixtured in the center. It travels down the other water column, and that is sent back to the software that actually analyzes it. And so it compares those signals, and it can determine whether there's defects or voids, and builds an image of what it would look like.
Complicated with many moving parts and the need for accuracy, Marietta needed someone that could not only supply the parts, but could also provide expertise in machine design. Fortunately, they had that ideal partner, Livingston Haven, a manufacturing solutions provider whom they'd worked with in the past.
I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, Marietta NDT was Marietta X-ray at the time, and they wanted to branch out into more non-destructive testing. So they were already doing X-ray and eddy current and all these other, dye penetrant type non-destructive testing. They wanted to broaden their business to make their business cycle flatter. And they started researching ultrasound. We got involved on their first tank for an aircraft company in Milledgeville. It was a 5-axis scanner, and we helped them. We basically provided product to do the linear motion. We provided the linear rails the carriage rode on, the servo motors. One of the things that Bosch, Rexroth, and L&H bring here is a very low noise. The motors, when wired properly, generate very little electrical noise, and ultrasound is very, very susceptible to electrical noise. And it turns out it's also really susceptible to mechanical noise. They lose signal. So we were able to help them, provide products and application engineering expertise to help them solve their problems for moving their first tanks. That was 3 or 4 years ago. Since then, we've moved to large-scale overhead scanners, 10-axis scanners. We've done large tanks scanners, and we've helped them inspect everything from carbon fiber, titanium, hand grenades, artillery shells. So it's full gamut.
It was Ben and the L&H team's heavy involvement in many of the Marietta projects throughout the years that made it easy for Marietta to choose L&H when they decided to make custom-designed ultrasonic scanning equipment.
We had several internal meetings, and that was decide who that we want to start helping us to solve this issue. Livingston Haven was one of the earlier ones from the very beginning, and they were very helpful for us, and that's another reason why we decided to go with them. We do design work here, the structural. Once we have something designed, Livingston Haven comes in and helps us size all the motors. We are concerned more with inertia mismatch versus overall torques, just for performance reasons of the machine, so that when it actually says to stop, it actually stops where it's at. And considering that this machine is as important as it is, the performance is extremely critical. That it stays accurate throughout its entire travels.
The Livingston Haven way is to be a partner with its customers.
When they have a project where they think we can help, we sit down at the beginning of the project, they tell us what they need, we come back and tell them, well, I can do it this way or this way or this way or this way, here's the upside, the downside to each method, and they choose from there. And we've been able to bring in outsourced resources. We put them in touch with other customers that A, could supply them hardware to solve their problems, or B, they could supply hardware too. We brought Vinay Kohli down to help with programming. It's been a couple years since we've done that, but yeah, it's definitely a partnership.
It takes about a year to build these new super scanners. 2 have already been sold, and they continue to rely on Livingston and Haven for high-quality support, creative solutions, and first-class customer service.